Welcome back to Switchtop. These aren't just good games. These are the ones that make you cancel plans, lose sleep, and stare at the ceiling thinking about them. 20 games, 20 perfect scores. Let's get into it. Blueprints. You're the heir to Mount Holly Estate, a massive manor with one goal. Find the legendary Room 46. The catch? Every single day, the floor plan of the mansion resets. You don't walk into rooms, you draft them. Each door presents you with a choice of rooms to place, and every decision matters because you're working on a limited number of steps before exhaustion kicks in and the day resets. It's part puzzle game, part roguelite, part mystery novel. The story unfolds through notes scattered throughout the manor. No NPCs, just fragments that slowly reveal the estate's dark history of blackmail, corruption, and a vanished author. The tension of every run comes from your planning. Draft the wrong rooms early and you'll run out of keys, stamina, or time before you get close to Room 46. Permanent upgrades carry over between days, so every run teaches you something new. Mina the Hollower. You play as Mina, a brilliant inventor and member of the Hollowers Guild, summoned by her old friend Baron Lionel to investigate. Things go very sideways, very fast. The top-down gameplay looks like classic Game Boy Zelda, but plays like a precision Souls-like, with one incredible twist. Mina can literally dig underground. That burrowing mechanic is the whole game. You dodge enemy attacks by tunneling beneath them, slip through impassable obstacles, collect buried bones as currency, and pull off platforming tricks that feel fantastic. Combat is demanding you choose your weapon type from daggers, a chain mace, or an explosive hammer, and the bone economy works like Souls. Die holding your spark and lose it, then go back and take it from the enemy that killed you. Celeste. You play as Madeline, who decides one day to climb Celeste Mountain, and the game never really tells you why at first, but you feel it. She can run, jump, and air dash once. That's the full toolkit. But what Celeste builds with those three things is extraordinary. Every room is its own tight, handcrafted challenge. You will die hundreds of times and never once feel cheated because each death is fully yours. A missed timing, a bad read, a rushed dash. Running alongside the brutal platforming is a story about anxiety, self-doubt, and the things we run from instead of facing. The mountain is a metaphor the game earns completely and honestly. B-side levels exist for those who want something even harder, and they are punishing in the best way. Assist mode lets you slow things down or add invincibility if you're there for the story. Super Mario Galaxy plus Super Mario Galaxy 2. 2 games, 1 legendary legacy. Super Mario Galaxy sends Mario into space and completely reinvents what 3D platforming can feel like. You travel across small planets where gravity works in every direction, you run across the outside of spheres, flip upside down, and suddenly the whole universe is your floor. Bowser has seized the center of the cosmos, Peach is taken, and Mario is chasing him across galaxies using a spinning mechanic and star power. The first game is imaginative and cohesive. Galaxy 2 doubles down on the creativity, arguably has sharper level design, introduces Yoshi, and delivers a relentless stream of new ideas from start to finish. Both games introduce a mechanic in each world, use it brilliantly, and then move on, no overstaying its welcome. Astral Chain. You're a rookie officer in a futuristic city called Neuron, being overrun by creatures from another dimension called Chimera. To fight them, you wield a Legion, a chained entity bound to you that fights by your side in real time. You control both yourself and your Legion simultaneously, switching between attack modes, setting up chains around enemies, using your Legion to hold them in place, solve puzzles, and create devastating combos. There are 5 Legion types: Sword, Bow, Arm, Beast, Axe, each one opening up different combat possibilities. Between missions, you actually work as a police officer, investigating crime scenes, chasing suspects, scanning environments for clues, and managing a station. The story escalates hard into conspiracy, dimensional collapse, and the meaning of the bond you share with your Legion. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles is a full-scale remaster of the 1997 classic, rebuilt with improved HD visuals, complete voice acting, a refreshed script, an overhauled UI, and a new Squire difficulty for newcomers. The Kingdom of Ivalice is in chaos. A child sits on the throne, and two powerful dukes are fighting for the regency that means real power. You follow Ramza Bulv, a noble's son, and his childhood friend Delita, a commoner among nobles, as their paths diverge violently through war, betrayal, and political corruption. The story deals with class divide, personal sacrifice, and the ugliness of ambition in ways very few games have matched. In battle, you position your units on 3D isometric grids, where height, terrain, and turn order shape every outcome. The job system is the mechanical heart. Over 20 classes, hundreds of abilities, and the freedom to carry learned skills across jobs.
It is time.
Metroid Prime Remastered. A 2002 GameCube game remastered so well, it feels built for modern hardware. Samus Aran is a galactic bounty hunter, responding to a distress signal above the planet Talon 4 when space pirates ambush her ship and strip away most of her abilities. Stranded on the planet below, alone, she starts piecing together the fate of the ancient Chozan civilization and tracking a dangerous mutagen called Phazon. You play in first person, but this is not a shooter. It's an exploration game where scanning the environment is how you learn the story. Creatures, fossils, murals, technology, all scannable, all building a picture of a world that died and why. You unlock abilities like the Morph Ball, Grapple Beam, and Thermal Visor that open up previously unreachable areas, and backtracking feels rewarding rather than tedious because you always know what you were waiting to unlock. Hades 2 takes everything the original built and expands it into something larger, deeper, and more mechanically complex. You play as Melinue, princess of the underworld and sister to Zagreus. Kronos, the Titan of Time, has escaped his imprisonment, seized the underworld, and locked away Melinue's entire family. Trained under the witch Hecate, Melinue fights outward through the depths in one direction and upward toward the surface in another, with each path offering different challenges and rewards. The roguelite loop returns. Fight through rooms, choose boons from Olympian gods to power up your run, and push a little further each time. New to this entry is a dedicated magic system for special abilities, a full Arcana card upgrade tree, adorable upgradable familiars, a sprint mechanic, and more weapon types than the original. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild set the standard for open-world design. You wake up as Link with no memory in a Hyrule that lost a war 100 years ago. Calamity Ganon is sealed inside Hyrule Castle, and Zelda is the only thing holding him in. The game hands you a glider, points you roughly toward the castle, and then completely steps back. Climb any surface in the world. Glide from any peak. Cook ingredients into meals with real mechanical effects. The physics engine is the game's real soul. Fire spreads with the wind. Metal conducts electricity. Cold slows you down. These systems interact with each other constantly and create moments of genuine emergence. Lighting a fire to ride the updraft. Rolling a boulder onto enemies. Using a magnetic beam to hurl a chest through a wall. The 4 divine beasts serve as the major dungeons, and the 120 shrines offer self-contained physics puzzles. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe brings 48 beautifully remastered tracks and adds 48 more through the Booster Course Pass, 96 total, spanning the full history of the series. The driving is tuned to perfection. Every drift, every mini boost, every item throw has a satisfying physical clarity. The new battle mode, long overdue, brings 5 game types across 8 dedicated arenas, up to 4 players locally, 8 online. Anti-gravity sections where you race along walls and ceilings still feel genuinely exciting even after years. Items are chaotic, yes, but that chaos is part of the appeal. The moment someone in the lead gets absolutely wrecked by a blue shell 3 corners from the finish, the whole couch erupts. It doesn't matter if you've never played a racing game, you will have fun. That accessibility without sacrificing depth is the hardest thing to design in gaming, and Nintendo absolutely nailed it. Cyberpunk 2077. You play as V, a mercenary in Night City, a neon-soaked megacity where corporations own everything and everyone is trying to get ahead or just survive. A job gone wrong leaves you with a digital ghost named Johnny Silverhand living inside your head, and a countdown before that connection destroys you. Night City is enormous and feels genuinely alive. Street food stalls, gang territories, corpo towers, underground fight rings, religious cults, rooftop bars. The open world holds up to constant exploration with almost no dead space. Your build shapes everything. Go full stealth hacker, aggressive cyberware bruiser, or anything in between. Skills grow through use. The story branches significantly based on your choices and relationships. Phantom Liberty adds a full spy thriller campaign in a locked-down district. Hollow Knight Silksong follows Hornet, fierce princess from Hollow Knight, who is kidnapped and brought against her will to Farloom, a kingdom governed by silk and song, filled with clockwork towers, misted moors, and gilded ruins. She escapes and begins climbing toward the great citadel above, uncovering the kingdom's ancient, unsettling mysteries. The shift from the original Knight to Hornet is immediate and dramatic. She's fast, a needle-wielding acrobat who can sprint, grapple, glide, and pogo with stunning fluidity. A silk gauge fills through combat and fuels both healing and powerful special attacks. The boss count is staggering, and almost every fight is brilliantly designed, readable, learnable, and deeply satisfying to finally overcome. The world is massive, structured in acts, and filled with optional routes, hidden areas, side quests, and secrets that most players will never see. Multiple endings. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade takes the opening chapter of one of gaming's greatest stories and turns it into a full 40-hour experience with nothing wasted. Cloud Strife is a former elite soldier working as a mercenary in Midgar, a city built on plates where the wealthy live above and the poor survive below, all of it powered by a corporation called Shinra draining the planet dry. He's hired by a resistance group called Avalanche, crosses paths with a flower seller named Aerith, and what starts as a targeted bombing mission spirals into something enormous. Combat is real-time but deep. You control Cloud directly while pausing into a tactical menu to use abilities, spells, and items. Each party member feels completely different. Barrett is a tank, Tifa is a close-range combo fighter, Aerith controls space with magic. Intergrade includes the full intermission chapter starring Yuffie, which plays fantastically.
Is a heavy weapons platform. If we rush in, we die.
Is that right?
Need to hit it with magic.
Hades puts you in control of Zagreus, son of the god of death, trying to escape the underworld and find his long-absent mother on the surface. Every time you die, and you will die, you return to the House of Hades, where your father, Nyx, Achilles, and a dozen other characters react to your return with new dialogue and slowly reveal the full story. The combat is one of the cleanest action game loops ever made. 6 weapons with multiple unlockable variations, dozens of boons from the Olympian gods that stack and combine unpredictably, and enough build variety to keep hundreds of runs feeling distinct. The genius is that every run moves the story forward. A new conversation, a new relationship, a new piece of the puzzle. The writing is genuinely exceptional. Every character feels real, the voice acting is some of the best in any game, and the relationship between Zagreus and the cast around him develops with real emotional weight. Super Mario Odyssey is Nintendo playing with absolutely no limits. Mario lands in a new kingdom, loses his hat, and gains a new partner, Cappy, a living hat who can be thrown to possess enemies, objects, and creatures. Possess a T-Rex. Become a fire-breathing Goomba tower. Turn into a ball of electricity. Turn into a block of stone. Every kingdom introduces something new that Cappy can capture, and the game never runs out of ideas. The movement itself is extraordinary. Run, jump, dive, roll, wall jump, bounce off Cappy midair, and string it all together with satisfying momentum. Bowser has kidnapped Pauline, and Mario is chasing him across 10 kingdoms, each one a completely distinct world with its own visual identity and rules. Power moons are everywhere, tucked behind puzzles, hidden in locals' requests, buried underground, and finding them feels consistently rewarding. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. The world of Ionios has two nations, Keves and Agnes, locked in perpetual war. Soldiers on both sides are born with a 10-year lifespan, fighting until their flame clocks run out. You follow 6 soldiers from both factions who, after a series of violent events, end up fighting together and questioning everything they've been told about the war, the world, and why any of it keeps going. The story is genuinely exceptional, mature, emotional, and building toward revelations that hit very hard. Real-time combat has real depth, 6 character parties with defined roles, a class swap system that lets anyone learn any job, chain attacks that reward coordination, and Ouroboros links that merge 2 characters into a devastating fusion form. Side quests develop your party members and the world's lore, rather than padding out content. The DLC, Future Redeemed, ties the entire Xenoblade trilogy together in a way that rewards longtime fans enormously. Pokémon Pokopia. You play as Ditto, morphed into its missing trainer's human form, waking up in a world where humans have completely disappeared, and the landscape has crumbled into ruin. Guided by Professor Tangrowth, your mission is to restore the environment and bring Pokémon back to the wasteland. The gameplay is a sandbox life sim that blends Animal Crossing's community building with Minecraft's construction and Dragon Quest Builder's restoration structure. Developed by Omega Force, the team behind Dragon Quest Builders 2. You gather materials, terraform dead land, and build habitats that attract specific Pokémon based on their needs and preferences. As you meet each Pokémon, Ditto copies their ability. Bulbasaur teaches you to water and grow plants, Hitmonchan teaches you to bust through walls, Scyther handles timber. The restoration loop is deeply satisfying as barren wastelands fill up with life. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. The story begins when Link and Zelda discover something ancient beneath Hyrule Castle, an event that sends Zelda vanishing through time, unleashes Ganondorf from a deep seal, and tears open the sky above Hyrule with floating islands. Link loses his arm, gains new abilities from an ancient king, and starts piecing together what happened. 4 abilities: Ultra Hand for attaching and moving objects, Fuse for combining weapons with materials, Ascend for passing through ceilings, and Recall for rewinding an object's movement are the heart of everything. These tools interact with each other and with the physics engine in ways that generate completely emergent solutions. You can build a flying machine, a fire-powered sled, or a flamethrower on a cart, or simply glue a boulder to a sword. The temples are more creative than Breath of the Wild's. The depth's underground biome is vast and eerie. DK's first 3D platformer since 1999, and it's one of the best games on the Switch too. Ingot Isle is buzzing with the discovery of Banandium crystals, until Voidco, a ruthless corporate villain and his crew, sweeps in and steals everything, sending the island and DK plummeting underground. He meets a 13-year-old girl named Pauline, and together they're heading for the planet core, where legend says any wish can be granted. The defining mechanic is pure destruction. DK can punch through nearly any surface: walls, floors, ceilings, boulders, entire cliffs. Hidden fossils and Banandium gems are buried inside the terrain, and finding them means tearing the level apart to see what's inside. Pauline's voice powers DK's Bananza transformations: a gorilla form with a supercharged punch, a bird that soars and drops egg bombs, a snake that glides across water, each one fueled by collected gold and used strategically.
Smash enemies, walls, the ground, and most things you can get your hands on with incredible force.
Resident Evil Requiem. Set 30 years after the destruction of Raccoon City, you play as Grace Ashcroft, an FBI intelligence analyst, and definitively not a combat-trained soldier. That choice defines the game. Grace is smart, resourceful, terrified, and vulnerable in ways previous RE protagonists simply aren't. She's sent to investigate a series of mysterious deaths at the Wrenwood Hotel, a location tied to her own past. In what begins as a routine case unravels into something connected to the Raccoon City outbreak and a new biological catastrophe. The game introduces switchable first- and third-person camera modes for the first time in a mainline entry. A relentless stalker enemy hunts Grace through the hotel's rotting corridors. You hide under tables, Throw bottles to distract it, plan routes carefully, and hold your breath. Leon S. Kennedy is a second playable character with a more action-forward style that gives the game tonal contrast. "20 games, 0 filler." Doesn't matter if you're new to Switch or 3 years deep into Switch 2, this list covers you. Drop your own perfect score in the comments and tell me what I got wrong. Like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.